JD Vance went on to CNN this morning to try to explain away yet another disaster in the Trump-Vance campaign at their own doing. And of course, it turned into another disaster.
After CNN released a small clip of the Harris interview, you on Twitter posted a clip from a Miss Teen USA beauty pageant from 2007, Caitlin Upton, and you wrote, "I have gotten a hold of the full Kamala Harris CNN interview." Now, this thing that surfaced around the internet for a few years, she struggled answering a question back in this beauty pageant. I'm not sure you're aware, in 2015, Caitlin Upton did an interview with New York Magazine about all the social media attention this clip got, and she said, "I definitely went through a period where I was very, very depressed, but I never let anybody see that stuff except for people I could trust. I had some very dark moments where I thought about committing suicide." So when you posted this last night, were you aware that the woman you were posting a picture of had contemplated committing suicide for the attention it received?
No, certainly not, John, and my heart goes out to her, and I hope that she's doing well. Look, I've said a lot of things on camera. I've said a lot of stupid things on camera. Sometimes when you're in the public eye, you make mistakes, and again, I think the best way to deal with it is to laugh at ourselves, laugh at this stuff, and try to have some fun in politics. I posted a meme from 20 years ago, and I think the fact that we're talking about that instead of the fact that American families can't afford groceries or health care, young families can't afford to buy a home to raise their families in, those are the real crises that we should focus on. And there's nothing that says that we can't tell some jokes along the way while we deal with the very serious business of bringing back our public policy. Politics has gotten way too lame, John, way too boring. You can have some fun while making a good argument to the American people about how you're going to improve their lives.
Okay, I just want to be clear, though. You said you did know. Would you like to apologize to Caitlin Upton for posting that last night, given what you've now learned?
John, I'm not going to apologize for posting a joke, but I wish the best for Caitlin. I hope that she's doing well. And again, what I'd say is one bad moment shouldn't define anybody, and the best way to deal with this stuff is to laugh at ourselves.
JD Vance is just truly pathetic here. He thinks he can just say whatever he wants to, and then, oh, hey, let's just laugh about it. It's all a joke. But whenever Tim Walz makes a mistake about his wife's fertility treatment or misspeaking about carrying weapons of war, oh my goodness. According to Vance and Trump, it is the end of the world. Now, Trump threw some disgusting slurs at Kamala over on Truth Social the other day, and Vance was asked about that too. And just like the video I made yesterday about Trump's press secretary being a slimy, slippery fish, well, JD Vance wanted his turn to be the fish out of water.
Talking about Donald Trump's social media, would you describe his posts over the last 48 hours as lifting people up, quoting, reposting QAnon statements, reposting these misogynistic memes about Vice President Harris and Hillary Clinton? That's the kind of open discussion that you think is lifting people up?
Oh, John, I think if you look at Donald Trump's full campaign appearances and, yes, his social media appearances, what you see is two things. A guy with an agenda to lower prices and bring back American prosperity, and a political candidate who isn't stodgy, who likes to have some fun and likes to tell some jokes. I'd much rather have a candidate who's willing to go off script, who's willing to give every interview, and is willing to tell some jokes. I do think that's how you lift people up. A politics of boring scolds telling people they can't laugh, that is not lifting Americans up. That's how to tear us down.
All right. There are so many problems with JD Vance's interview and his tweeting, his posting of this meme to social media. First, he's trying to get women to trust him and to trust Trump when Trump is an adjudicated rapist, and Vance attacks Kamala Harris by making fun of other women. And what's worse, probably the worst thing about this, his post to social media, is that this woman was a teenager, and this was one of the worst moments of this woman's life. So much so she thought about committing suicide. And yet JD Vance thinks that we should just, hey, come on, let's just laugh it off. It's just a joke. JD Vance also wants America to forget about his other attacks on childless cat ladies, and then goes and attacks women more by using the mistakes of other women. I mean, really, truly, honestly pathetic. Vance also wants us to believe that Trump is the man fighting for, everyday Americans, and that he's just so loyal to his supporters, when the woman who was in the meme that JD Vance posted, Kate Upton, she's in the MAGA cult. So Vance here was using the stupidity of his own cult member to attack Kamala Harris. And then let's not forget the speaker at the DNC, the former staffer of Donald Trump, who said that he calls them basement dwellers in private, has no respect for his supporters. And really, I think this is the kind of most important thing here, is that JD Vance wants us to believe that they're capable of handling America's toughest problems. But their campaign can't go a day without a disaster, and they don't take the time to look at all the angles of their attacks on Kamala Harris. And that is a huge problem if you want to be president of the United States. They didn't realize that Kate Upton was in the MAGA cult, that she was a teenager. You're using a poor teenager's worst moment of their life to try to attack your presidential opponent. She's a woman. That doesn't bode well for JD Vance. And he's hurting someone else to try to attack Kamala Harris. And then when he gets asked to apologize, just can't do it. That makes him look like he can't empathize with other people, which is weird. That makes JD Vance look really weird. It also makes him look really immature, which, I mean, do I really have to remind the JD Vance and Trump campaign that that is a bad thing when you're trying to run for president of the United States? And it also, I mean, excuse my language, but it makes you look like an asshole. And again, that is a bad thing for a campaign who wants to try to appeal to more voters. I mean, this is why Trump mishandled nearly everything when it came to his administration, especially and most importantly, COVID, which resulted in over 1 million deaths. So for JD Vance to be so callous, so condescending, so, hey, let's just joke about it. Politics is boring. Lives depend on these kind of things. And that's why we can't trust fools like Trump and JD Vance. Let me know what your thoughts are, your reflections are in the comments down below. Be sure to like and share this video so that we can bring more people into the fold, and subscribe to Reflect if you haven't already. Thanks for sticking around and watching and sharing your reflections down below. My name is Brendan Plank, and I'll see you in the next video.